There is something strange happening in the world of wide-body aviation. The Airbus A350 is already flying around the world. It has more than 1,600 orders. It has hundreds of aircraft in service, and airlines continue placing new orders for it even in 2026. Yet Boeing 777X has attracted enormous attention, despite the fact that the aircraft has not yet entered commercial service. Boeing says customers have ordered more than 620 777X aircraft, while the company continues targeting the first 777-9 delivery for 2027. So why are airlines willing to commit to an aircraft that is still going through certification? Why are major carriers betting billions on the 777X? And why does the 777X continue to attract major orders even though the A350 is already one of the most successful wide-body aircraft of the modern era? The answer isn't simply that one airplane is better than the other. It's about size, range, airline strategy, fleet commonality, and something Boeing has been building for decades: customer loyalty around the 777 family. And once you understand those factors, the 777X's order success starts to make a lot more sense. To understand the 777X, we first need to understand the aircraft it is replacing. The original Boeing 777 became one of the most successful long-haul aircraft ever built. Airlines loved its combination of range, capacity, reliability, and operational flexibility. The 777-300ER in particular became a powerhouse. It could carry hundreds of passengers across long distances while operating with just 2 engines. That was extremely important, because aviation was moving away from 4-engine aircraft. The Boeing 747 and Airbus A350 represented an older generation of long-haul aviation. The 777 demonstrated that airlines could operate enormous aircraft with 2 engines and achieve excellent economics. That created a huge installed customer base. And when Boeing eventually introduced the 777X, it wasn't asking airlines to abandon the 777 concept. It was asking them to upgrade it. The 777-9 keeps the basic philosophy of the 777 while introducing a completely new composite wing, more efficient engines, improved aerodynamics, and a larger cabin. Boeing says the 777-9 is designed to provide 20% lower fuel use and emissions per seat compared with the aircraft it replaces. That is a powerful proposition for airlines already operating large 777-777 fleets. Instead of moving from one aircraft philosophy to another, they can move from one generation of 777 to the next. And that brings us to one of the biggest advantages Boeing has: fleet commonality. Imagine you're an airline that already operates dozens of Boeing 777s. Your pilots are trained on the aircraft. Your engineers understand the systems. Your maintenance teams have experience with the engines and airframe. Your airports already support the aircraft. Your spare parts network is already established. Now Boeing comes to you with an aircraft that builds on that existing family. That's a very different proposition from introducing an entirely new aircraft type. And some of the world's largest 777 operators have responded strongly. The clearest example is Emirates. Emirates is already one of the world's biggest Boeing 777 operators. In November 2025, the airline ordered another 65 Boeing 777-9s, taking its total 777X order to 270 aircraft. Think about that number. One airline alone represents hundreds of future 777X aircraft. And Emirates isn't choosing the airplane randomly. Its entire long-haul network is built around moving enormous numbers of passengers through Dubai. That means Emirates needs aircraft with huge capacity and long range. The 777-9 fits directly into that strategy. But here's where the comparison with the A350 becomes much more interesting. The A350 isn't simply a smaller alternative. The A350 family covers a broad range of missions. The A350-900 is particularly attractive for airlines that want long range without extremely high passenger capacity. The A350-1000 moves into a larger category, and Airbus is continuing to develop the family. By the end of June 2026, Airbus reported 1,595 firm A350 orders from 68 customers. with hundreds of aircraft already delivered. So the A350 is clearly not losing the market. In fact, airlines continue placing significant new orders. Lufthansa, for example, ordered 10 additional A350-900s in May 2026, taking its total A350 family order to 75 aircraft. Riyadh Air also firmed up 6 additional A350-1000s in July 2026, taking its firm commitment for the type to 31 aircraft. So, the real question isn't, why is the 777X beating the A350? The more accurate question is, why does the 777X continue to attract such strong demand despite the A350's enormous success? And the answer begins with capacity. The 777-9 is a very large aircraft. Boeing describes it as the world's largest twin-engine commercial airplane. Its typical two-class configuration is designed for around 426 passengers. That's important, because there are routes where airlines don't simply need a highly efficient long-range aircraft. They need maximum capacity without moving to 4 engines. This is the market the 777X is targeting. Think about airports such as Dubai, London, Singapore, Doha, Frankfurt, and other major international hubs. Some routes generate enormous passenger demand, but airport slots are limited. An airline can't necessarily add 5 or 6 additional flights every day. Sometimes, the better solution is to put more passengers onto each departure, and that's where a very large twin-engine aircraft becomes extremely valuable. The 777X essentially takes the jumbo jet philosophy and modernizes it. Instead of 4 engines, 2. Instead of the old generation wing, a massive composite wing with folding wingtips. Instead of older engines, the GE9X. And instead of simply being huge, the aircraft is designed around the economics of modern long-haul aviation. But there is still one enormous question hanging over the entire program. The 777X has taken far longer to enter service than originally planned. Certification has been complicated. The first delivery is now expected in 2027. As of July 2026, Boeing reported that the 777-9 test fleet had completed more than 4,800 flight hours and roughly 1,700 flights, with about half of planned certification testing complete. So why are airlines still willing to wait? Why haven't they simply switched to the A350? The answer may be the most important reason behind the 777X's order book. And that's where the real battle between Boeing and Airbus begins. The answer begins with something that doesn't show up clearly in a simple order chart. Airlines don't buy aircraft based on order totals alone. They buy aircraft for very specific missions. And in that game, the Boeing 777X occupies a very unusual position. It is not simply competing with the A350. It is targeting the largest end of the twin-engine wide-body market. The A350 family, meanwhile, covers a broader range of missions. As of July 2026, Airbus listed 1,601 total A350 orders, including the A350F freighter. That number is dramatically higher than the 777X order book. So the original claim that the 777X has more total orders than the A350 isn't accurate. But that actually makes the 777X story more interesting, because Boeing has accumulated more than 600 777X commitments for an aircraft that still hasn't entered commercial service. And airlines aren't making those commitments simply because the airplane is big. They're making them because, for certain operations, big is exactly what they need. The 777X has a very specific mission. Think about the world's largest international hubs: Dubai, Doha, Singapore, London, Frankfurt, Tokyo. These airports can generate enormous passenger demand, but there is a limit to how many aircraft can take off and land. That creates a problem. If passenger demand increases, an airline can't always respond by simply adding another flight. There may not be another available slot, so instead of adding frequency, the airline can increase capacity. And that's where the 777-9 becomes extremely attractive. Boeing's 777-9 is designed for approximately 426 passengers in a typical two-class configuration, putting it among the largest twin-engine passenger aircraft ever built. It essentially carries forward the philosophy that made the 777-300ER so successful: huge capacity, plus long range, plus 2 engines. That combination is extremely difficult to replace. Then there is Emirates. If there is one airline that demonstrates the business case for the 777X, it is Emirates. The airline has made the Boeing 777 one of the foundations of its long-haul fleet. And in November 2025, Emirates ordered another 65 777-9s, bringing its total 777X commitment to 270 aircraft. That is an extraordinary commitment, but Emirates has a very specific network. Dubai is positioned as a global connecting hub. Passengers arrive from one continent and continue toward another. That means Emirates needs aircraft capable of carrying enormous numbers of passengers on major international routes. The 777X fits that strategy almost perfectly. And there's another advantage: fleet familiarity. Emirates already knows how to operate the 777X. Its pilots, engineers, maintenance teams, airport operations, and supply chain are familiar with the aircraft family. Moving to the 777X isn't the same as starting from scratch with an entirely different aircraft ecosystem. That's a powerful advantage when an airline is planning a fleet worth billions of dollars. But the A350 has a weapon of its own. The A350's biggest strength is efficiency and flexibility. It doesn't have to carry 400+ passengers to be useful. An airline can choose the A350-900 for routes where capacity is lower, but range is extremely important. And the A350 has demonstrated just how far this concept can be pushed. In July 2026, an A350-1000 ULR test aircraft completed a remarkable 24-hour and 24-minute non-stop flight from Melbourne to Toulouse, covering approximately 23,075 kilometers. That wasn't a normal commercial flight, but it demonstrated the extraordinary endurance possible with the A350 platform. Qantas is preparing to use specially modified A350-1000 ULRs for Project Sunrise. With non-stop Sydney-London and Sydney-New York services planned, the first aircraft is expected in 2027. This is where the A350 can beat the 777X. If an airline needs maximum range with a smaller passenger load, the A350 can be an incredibly attractive solution. So the two aircraft aren't really fighting the same battle everywhere. Why airlines can still choose the 777X? Now we get to the heart of the question. Why would an airline choose the 777X instead of an A350? One major reason is capacity. Another is existing Boeing fleet commonality. And another is the specific economics of extremely busy routes. If an airline already operates a large 777 fleet and regularly fills its aircraft, the 777X becomes a natural next step. The aircraft also introduces a huge new composite wing. Its wingtips fold upward on the ground, allowing the aircraft to have an enormous aerodynamic span in flight, while still fitting within airport requirements. And then there is the GE9X. The GE9X is designed specifically for the 777X and is one of the largest and most powerful commercial aircraft engines ever developed. The idea is simple. Take the 777 philosophy, make the airplane larger, make the wing more efficient. Add a new generation of engine, and create a giant twin-engine aircraft capable of replacing some of the roles once dominated by four-engine aircraft. In that sense, the 777X is almost a modern jumbo jet without four engines. But Boeing has a major problem. There is one enormous weakness in the 777X story: time. The aircraft was originally expected to enter service